So I've just got to Marsden and this is the first bit of filming I'm doing. That looks like one of those long barrow natural form shapes, but there's a bit missing out of it. It looks like it's been taken out at one side, strangely. Now we've got a fire station here. Put the fire out. Now I know the road what you go on to get to Pule Hill, the best way. There's actually a speed camera there when you get in line with it, which I think is a bit of a police chief pun, strategic planning pun. There is a mound up there, but I don't know if that's an old original mound or something to do with some buildings up there or something. But I want to try in the exact, maybe it might be that that long barrow shape only looks like it from one side, from where I was at West Nab. So I need to go and have a look at it to find out. And I'm going to go to the bit what's got that knobble shape on it, kind of like one end of Bella Snap. Because if that has got a big natural shape like that, it's half a mile long, which is not quite as big as Maiden Castle, but it's, I think Maiden Castle is 700 metres. 0.3 mile is that brig house, but this is half a mile, but it's not quite as long as Maiden Castle size. It's not this lane, fall lane. I think it's one of the next ones. See that at the other side of the valley now? You see these are those natural hills that go on. That's just gone down a bit there. It starts at the other side, so those are them. These are the actual places where you actually get them naturally forming. It's almost like there's quite a lot of them around here. Now the fact that they've made a hill fort on one, you think, oh yeah, it's Castle Hill, it's a hill fort, it's made out of a natural feature or whatever. A lot of the hill forts have been made out of natural features and shaped. But the thing is, we've got those little long barrows all around, and why would you get that idea from of the small one? You don't just get them like that. They've been totally man-made, but they're based on these long hills. So I need to go check it out. So this is one of the most strategically planned speed camera sites that you can get, which is in Marsden. Marsden. And all that symbolises a god of war, but also to be tainted, to be scarred or spoiled, right? Now, they could have done also anything they could have wanted to do with this road. They could have done it, right? Any kind of different measures, but they wanted to put a speed camera here. And on this junction, actually, Marsden's the first, after you come over the moors, this is the first civilization proper that you come to, right? And a lot of people get caught by this because it's hidden and it's downhill. And you know, there were plenty of other measures and means to put in place, but they like to get people, tar them with a speeding ticket and a fine. And it's, you know, you got these crown posts. So added to all the stuff I've got on the other website, which is I've had to do this. I'm doing this for bentcop.biz, but I've had to do a load to do with heritage and saving ancient sites and things like that. And it turns out that our local site actually, we think, is being purposely vandalised and rubbished, and it's a bit of a long story really. Crown UK. We've actually got Crown Bristol. I don't know why Bristol, because if this was to do with the Druids and the long barrow order, which I'm pretty sure it is now, with like these massive long barrow headquarter shapes and the brig house. I don't know why they've got that hole out the other side of the road. So yeah, I think the police like to get people here. So just like finding people and getting people in general, it all goes back to De Lacy, because when the 1066, when we got conquered, then De Lacy's kind of like taking over the area as the High Constable Sheriff, and they weren't very nice to people, and they devalued everyone's property and lands, and you know, following on from what the Romans did, wanted to erase the Druid culture and the Druid heritage. That's what the mission was. And I actually think the brig house got damaged, and then following that, after De Lacy, I think all the names got changed around and messed up, because if you look at the map, at the 1600s map, if you look at the map that was drawn, I think it was Speed, whichever map it was. Oh, fucking that's a Speed map, isn't it? There's a map, one of the early map guys was Speed. There's Speed cameras. So, and all the names on there aren't even recognisable. You can't even recognise those names on there from places. They're all like really older worldy style, unless you didn't write one on purpose. But it's nothing that was recognisable now. I think Barnsley and Sheffield are just barely recognisable with different spellings. But on the other petition that I'm doing and the other website, I've got into this, and I'll have to tell you, there's a lot of complicated and intricate stuff to do with heritage, ancestors, ancient sites, various conquests, and what they've actually been doing to us since then. And I guess it goes on to religion as well, and you know, the replacement religious orders. But the thing is, I'm going to find this site now and look at this site, and it tied into the road traffic, because this is where the first camera is when you enter. And it's actually, if you're thinking of our ancient hill forts, the ancient sites, and you're following back onto the moors, and then if you go to this Pule hill, and if it is what I think it is, I'm just going to go check it out now, then it's up this road here you can go, which is in line with it, and then it's in line with the speed camera, and then the meaning that it's in with the crown and getting fined and getting done, you'll have to follow what's going on with the petition and all the information and details with that into his heritage of what I've been investigating. It's to do with basically being conquered and ruled, and not in the nicest way, to do with fines, getting money out of people, and vandalising the heritage basically, and taking it over and making it your own, but not in a nice way, in a kind of more of a vandalism, marring it basically. Mars is the god of war, Warburton's bread, and then we're going to all the other stuff I've been investigating to do with foods and what bread's been doing to us. They've modified food and it's now toxic to us, and it's Warburton's bread. So this is the Marsden camera coming in from the moors, and this is prime set up to mar people. And we're not talking about innocent, you know, people walking down the road on purpose. We're talking about, you know, people just going down the road and getting points, getting the license marred. Particularly, you know, we're not even going into, you know, not even getting injured. So we do have plenty of these that natural form shape in many places in England. Barrows, maybe even they're called barrows. They're natural barrows. That's because like the name Long Barrow is Long Barrow. It's like normal natural barrows, like Barrow in Furness. I don't hear many people talking about the Long Barrows ancient sites in context with the actual hills. That's where I was the other day, across there on the top of West Nab, and then as you go to the left it kind of goes up view behind that ridge. Walking on there. So looking across, I think this must be it. It looks really flat on top from across there. I don't know what's going on with these. It definitely looks like there's some strange digging being going on. Almost maybe as if, you know, it has been messed up and marred and dug around. All dug out, almost. It's not quite as big as Maiden Castle. Now I don't know if this is the main bit or not, or if there's a different bit. There's a golf course down there. You see, it's about half a mile long. Maiden Castle is about 0.7, 0.8 of a mile. So, you know. You see, the thing about these hills is this, well, there's meant to have been some quarrying on the other side. The thing about these hills is that they're usually really straight and smooth where they've been formed. this looks got really, those bumps are unusual. Something looks like it's been disturbed. I mean, look, you don't get those over there, not like that on the top part, it's all smooth. So in theory it should be smooth on here. Going to the top of it, but I wanted to find that shape with a strange little long barrow shape to it. So this, what I'm on now, is not the one that you can see from across there. This smooth and long shape. This next one. Actually, it makes it kind of look like it's all one, but then there's another separate two. Even over there at Pule is that shape. So there are quite a lot of those around here. It's the area for a lot of those natural long barrow formations, which I knew that anyway, but it's from certain angles they kind of stand out a bit more. I'm across to the actual mound now, but there's a lot of deep marsh grass there which put a lot of water in it. There was quite a bit on here, but if you stay on the top of the sedges then you don't sink down into it. I thought it'd be easy to walk across. I should have brought my boots. I took my boots yesterday, never ended up using them. I've got to get through that grass on the water. It's on there, but once you're on there, it's a lot better than this, better surface than this. It's not as long clumps or grass or deep, so it'll pick up and wet. So it's actually shallow at that end. That end's deeper than that end, but it is still like a long barrow shape. And then, but obviously from right over there, when I looked the other day, it looks like this is actually part of it. But you've got these two running along next to each other, and I want to look at the end because there's a strange shape on the map that looks like Bella Snap. Now the thing is though, those little long barrows had like long, if you look at the proper drawings of them, the reconstructive drawings, they actually have long sort of additional straight banks running down each side. So if Castle Hill and Dunelm and the Big House is a local significant site of interest for self to do with those long barrows, even though they're little small ones, then it could be that the bigger ones, everyone says, oh, why did it have those parallel ditches on the edge? Well, if this has got twin parallel hills, that could be important for the origin of them, the symbology, for many various different reasons that I can go into detail. Not now while I'm walking around here. Oh, there's a plane flying over there. Stupid Manchester Airport planes. They've changed all the flight paths since COVID. I've had to put loads of complaints in. They started flying them too close to the mast. It's supposed to be a 3 mile radius, and they've started flying them within 1.8 mile or less. In fact, having to have the planes fly over here is quite harassment and annoying, to be honest. I know some people live right next to the airport. When they crashed that Lancaster bomber, and then Lancaster changed the L for a C, Lancashire, a clan bomber, a Lancaster bomber. Yeah, it went to fight the war in Europe, but when it came back, then they symbolised crashing it, the bomber, banging it out, you know, as if like, you know, kind of like jumping on us as well. It wasn't necessarily, I don't think it was anything like a victory comeback. I think it was, you know, finish the job off and then further marring and tainting like they've done with the rest of the stuff. It seems when you get into the authorities, there's always this authoritative gesture of absolute domination. You know, it's not fair and equal. You know, there's cheating going on, there's planning cheating even when they want to get their things through. Then Boris, you know, they're trying to get laws changed and use rights, they're trying to change them, take them away from you. It's just corruption, it's got it all over it. And the thing is, everyone's saying it. The council are moving schools and expanding schools that locals don't want to be changed. Loads of things. And the point is that all the local people are against it. And the councils are just doing it anyway. It's not what the voters want. We know they've elected councillors and they've elected the council, but when they get in, they use all these diverse and arbitrary means and ways to get what they want. And then when you try and do something on social media, get people together, they use a newspaper against you. They even get ex-newspaper editors like Martin Shaw. He's like, you know, he's meant to be retired from newspaper, now he's just posting in all the local groups. Huddersfield Hub putting examiner stories. He's not putting, you know, now there ain't enough actual printed newspapers to go around 3 villages. He's not putting all the housing planning notices in all the groups and getting people together to object to him, is he? Like one of the functions of the newspaper is meant to be, he's aiding and abetting the council in their strategy, like Tony Earnshaw is. It's all one team unit, and it's going to be very, very difficult to get anything done about it, I think. As I predicted, we've got the police helicopter out, which I could have put money on the national lottery for that, and I'd have probably won some money. I predicted helicopter flies over. I predicted that before himself this morning. So police chief can give us 500 quid. A new helicopter fly straight over. I could have bet money on it. Could have gone to William Hill, and I could have said, when I go out today, that police helicopter is going to fly over. I bet money on it. So here we are. I made it up here. So there's a big hill. Once you get onto that hill, then there's this quite long barrowish farm, which clearly, I'm not suggesting ever this were occupied or anything, because it's meant to be Marsden Moor. It's not the Nab, and it's not Dunelm, but it is this. Now, there is that one there, which is a nice shape, and actually at the side of this one, it doesn't actually go down again at the side. It just comes up, so it's only like one edge of it. There is a little bit of a long wedge there. So I'm going to try and find where that bit is with the front bit. That's the coach house pub right over there. There's a pub or the floating light. It's either the floating light or the coach house. It might have been the floating light. Like a brick building on that bit that comes out, but to be honest, it's not raised on all sides, only on the other side. But it's just like the contours of it in the shape and height is a bit like that Dragon Hill at Uffington. Very, very similar to that Uffington thing. If it is anything similar to Uffington, could have been symbolised where they came and stored stuff and gathered stuff up there, floating. Perfect place for collecting up here. Can't quite see Castle Hill from here there. This is interesting. So up west now, from here, the actual highest bit of it, with all the stones on there piled into it, is actually like a long barrow, actually kind of made out of massive big stones stuck out of it, which you don't see that. I recognise that from the other side. Now that's interesting if you think of long barrows with stone chambers inside of them, or constructed out of stone and with earth on, or made out of little stones. It's almost actually like from over here itself at the Nab is a long barrow shaped out of stones, which you didn't see that at the other side. That's interesting. It's actually a lot easier walking on this bit now. It's quite easy to walk on this bit. Than over there. Actually, the further you get down, then it gets really difficult. It does look like Dragon Hill, that, totally. They're just the contours and the shape of it. Oh, West Nab. I need to look at it again from the other side. actually think of the whole bit of Stearns. It could have inspired them to build long barrows rather than just going for circular shapes. It's like a path here where people That's interesting. I've just got to here now. Not quite up to that one yet. I want to see what the other side of it's like. See if it goes down equal around each edge. But I can just see the top of Castle Hill now, and I'm actually it's kind of like dead straight on behind it now. I don't think I'll be able to get further because my lens is not that good. Just see the Castle Hill top platform now, and from that top platform you can see that big Auntie's big house just exactly down in the valley as well. That is too damn significant to ignore now. That actually where I was the other day up there, but I couldn't see it from there until I came over here. But actually the majority part of all the Stearns. If you ever had an idea to have, like, you know, if you think, oh, we'll have long barrows, but we need to put Stearns in it, you'd think of that. But obviously they got it from Gravinis, Newgrange and Nove, which supposedly are older than the long barrow shapes. Unless they thought the long barrow shapes first and then they spread out, but that's not how it's looking down in Algeria, is it? Depending on what dating they give for stuff. It's cool that you can see Castle Hill from here. It's actually kind of sort of facing. This is like in line with Castle Hill. That's coming in from the side. Get up to this thing. Then I want to try find that funny shape bit, but it's looking like it's more just from certain angles and certain perspectives where you can see things. I don't actually know if this was completely filled with water or not, because it all sort of goes down, but obviously if there's a lot of rain, it's all going to go down at the bottom. But it's interesting. I don't know how it works out where it was all filled with water. Well, that starts going. So maybe that prehistoric, I might have to ask him, I might have to pull him on that, because on my whole video I might be wrong, but tell you what, if there was an ancient ridgeway ever, then that's one of them. That is an ancient ridgeway. Not as lush as beautiful in the south, pretty barren, but that definitely is one of them. I can see Castle a little bit more now, actually it's going that way. Actually, same way as West Look. Go to the top bit of West Nab with the Stearns, and then you've got Castle Hill going that way, same direction. Now that is a great photograph of a little panorama. You got Castle Hill going that way, and then when you actually look at the very top of West Nab, which is almost like long barrow shape, where the stone bits are, the part that comes up out stones, then they're both sort of in sort of symmetry form. Not symmetry, symmetry is opposite, but in like a template form. That bit there sticking out, that little tiny hill bit that reminds me of the Dragon's Hill at Uffington, and someone's built that stupid square brick box there. I think that's near where Quarry was. But it doesn't. Keeps making me sort of think of that bit at Kirklees. You know where Robin Hood's grave is? And then like they've done the bit of Kirklees, the border, they've done the border of Kirklees and Calderdale as a nab shape, going out towards where Robin Hood's grave is, as if they've put it round it. It's kind of, looking at it from over here, it's kind of making me think of that for some strange reason. And if there ever was a ancient civilization that utilised these moors for resources at certain times of season to do with the, you know, the belting or whatever, whichever was the collecting seasons, then, and then obviously going over in Huddersfield or Castle Hill or Dunelm, then, you know, that might have been a significant place when they're heading back down that way. Although then back up to Meltham's quite difficult, but I kind of think that little Meltham's got its own little area going on. And to get back into Huddersfield, actually you're going to be going past that big house, aren't you? So it's almost like, if you've got these symbolising, well, these are the natural barrow shapes, you know, right, which the form's copied from. And then you've got Dunelm's one that's kind of really good for settlement on, and Castle Hill. But this is like where they've kind of originated from. It's like the origins anyway. Then, at least for this area, then you've got this Marsden coming down, collecting. Then you've got that down into Marsden, and then going down the river towards the big house, which that's literally next to it. It's not far at all. Then you've got Dunelm as well, going that way, their way, through Honley that way, to past the bottom of Castle Hill, rather than they wouldn't go that way down. And then you've got Castle Hill going down, which is literally where the big house is, so it all kind of converges there. So, and then you got the freaking ICI bang there, so, which is, you know, it's not, it is marring it, and it's, you know, it's what's happened to that area is not very nice at all, really. Unfortunately, you know, it's not like we've got people, Americans coming over visiting the White Uffington Horse and looking around and going for nice peaceful walks around the actual hill. You know, they packed it in, you know, made it a mess. Never mind Almondbury giving arms, Amacy, a messy, and then you've got marred and a mess. It's marred and it's a mess. Now up here, fair enough, like Dunelm, you know, Meltham's alright, and up here, but you know, it's more interesting what's going on also at the hill and at that big house, which there's no interesting going on now except burger flipping and mess. You know, I don't think it's, you know, they could have put people, they could have built houses up on there. I'm not, you know, saying that people shouldn't have houses at all, that's far from the truth, you know, but they could have put them, you know, they could have put them around, you know. But I don't know, why aren't Dorchester Town Council gone into maximum overdrive as they've done at Leeds, Bradford and Halifax? There's been a lot of influx of immigrants in, and you know, we've just managed to keep on the edge because of the moors, really. It's hard to build up here, and that impact of being difficult to build has kind of tapered off into Meltham. Now, it's easier to build around Huddersfield, but there's been some, you know, obviously it's been targeted more Leeds, Bradford, Halifax, but Huddersfield has taken a, and then it's starting to spread into the nice bits of Huddersfield, which are just the you know, coming off these moors and into the nice countryside, and that's going to go now because council are expanding schools in Almondbury, planning, even all the nice little bits of the village we've got left, they're planting traffic lights and all sorts there. It's going to go if we don't do something now. We've got to try and stop this urban spread. I like the Lib Dems say, you know, in building in the right places, not in the wrong places, and they've been building in all the wrong places. So After all that walking up that way, turns out to be there's a nice normal path here, as you would have expected. Oh, there's the road anyway. Oh, you can see the other road. It's nice because I spent all my life driving on these roads, so it's nice to actually come up here. So that's where the floating light pub is. Windy now, it wasn't windy before. There is some water in there actually. I'm not too sure how that'd work if it was all filled up like to the extent that he's saying. Obviously there's a lot of drainage and irrigation and things going on to do with water supplies and all that, changing things, and obviously more erosion. And they got the stupid, it's not even a trig. It's not even one of those stupid official trig points, surveying points. They always seem to have to put the tower up, don't they? The tower symbol has to go on there. Actually, I don't think I can see Castle Hill now. I've gone up higher, but I've gone to the side and it's gone behind there. How long you been up here for? You what? Alright. I didn't actually know you could get up that other way there. Have you come that way or this way? Alright. Oh, so it actually really is really steep on this side. Oh, this is where they do the hang gliding up here. I don't think you probably can't even hear me now. Like the ship. There's a pub just there. Could have got the bus to the pub. Strange little long barrow shape to it. It is really strange actually because they've got that bit of water there and the shape of that lake is like that long barrow, like that umbrella snap shape. And this is the bit you can see on the aerial bit that's, it's actually quite a weak shape, it's not a very strong shape. Although if you think of Will and Smithy, that's not exactly that deep. I don't know what the height of it was when it was, you know, brand new. But you've got this kind of like farm in there. I don't know how much is one away. And it's in between this and the other ridge. And that just makes me think of, those bits that are wobbly like that down there, that's actually like what West Kenny is like now. On top of it, it's all kind of bumpy. It's gone bumpy like that. It's almost, if you can see it, and I don't know what significance it is to, if you think it's coincidence or not, it's just strange that you've got this going down this side, and then you've got a bit of a ridge there, and then in the middle of it, between it, you have got that a bit of a bellow snap shape. It just looks natural, and it's very hard to distinguish it and make it out. And it might just be because people have walked on there or whatever, but it definitely is there, and it's worth noting. And I think somebody's kind of known about it, because there's a complete total mirror image on the other side with that bit of water, which I'll get the photograph and maybe edit it together. So somebody, I think somebody else thought the same thing, which is, I think it's probably coincidence, but it is there, that shape. So this is sort of where that Longbarrow bit is, and when you're actually here, it's quite interesting because there is a Marsden down there, and there is this bit here. The interesting thing is this. This is a very interesting thing out of all the places, right? And that's the main sort of part of it, which is distinguishable and is recognised anyway. It's got a trig point on it. You've got these two. You've got this parallel lump here, and then you've got that parallel lump there, which it doesn't look like anyone's been up here and shaped it. So you kind of got like this. It's a little bit like those bits that they had running down the either side of like the Longbarrows, the normal size ones. And this is where I found that strange bellow snap looking thing from the air. But when you get close up, it sort of vanishes. I think you've got there's some mounds there, but it's this bit here. I'll actually get to it now. I'll actually show you where it is. It's actually here. I'm just in the kind of middle of it now. This is actually where there's more of that long grass than ever, right in this entrance bit to it, which is kind of spooky because I've been walking for ages and I hadn't actually come across any of this for a while, and now there's just loads of it. But I'm in the middle bit of it, which is, it's kind of raised up there and around there, but it sort of goes off to the side, so it is a little bit of a different view from the air. But it's kind of mad that right in the entrance mouth of that little shape like bellow snap that's here that I saw from Google Maps is filled with the long grasses that you'll get a lot of growth in between as well, obviously everywhere else, but you know. And then there's those two parallel mound things, which is even stranger. I mean, you've got the actual natural barrow shape up there. I don't know who's put these in, but there aren't any others exactly like that. You've got these two parallel mounds right by the mouth of this bit here, which is kind of funny because it doesn't look shaped or anything like that. It's just, and then you get all the grass in there right in front of that mouth bit that I've seen on Google Maps, which I wanted to come down and have a look at it because it looked interesting, and it is interesting. It's very, very strange little bit here. What it does is that ridge there goes down and it's forming kind of a bit of a barrow shape here, and then it just comes in a little, and then it's filled in. But in the kind of mouth, it's just there, and there's two parallel things straight in front of it. That's weird. I don't know if somebody's put it like this as a bit of a. I can't imagine it though. That is very strange. So yeah, so it forms. This is kind of the top part of it. And then you've got this bit coming round. just a weird thing. And then there's two parallel bumps, but not alongside of it, kind of in front of it. It's kind of really weird. But definitely, but it's not there. So yeah, Castle and Dunelm are, I think, definitely significant to, with the big house. So you've definitely got two big long barrows, and then, you know, then you're getting up moves where the natural form of it is utilised that form and actually made it into something. I actually think that's significant, because both Castle Hill and Dunelm, and then you've got the brig house, and the Castle Hill, at least Castle Hill was used in occupation, and it is more of a long barrow form than a hill fort. The thing about Castle Hill is a big long barrow form that was utilised and occupied. And then you've got the Dunelm one, which, you know, is very near it and flat on top, but people don't talk about it. And then they want to try and ignore the big house when it's clearly hill fort shaped. And then the names like Marsden, and then you've got a like Robin Hood thing, like, and then the trajectory change with the laces. There's two. You can't say like you're just reading into it too much. There's too much actual facts of, you know, there was headquarters there for the ancient civilization, and more than not just one, two, and then you've got the river supply route, and then you've got the names like the brig house and that. It is almost like they've got a bloody channel in there. They've got a channel out of the road there straight through the hill. That's a statement. I can mess some out, you know. Get rid of an entire hill fort now if they wanted to, but they've done more than that, just covered it up. And like there's dumb people around it who don't even kind of really, well yeah, they might vaguely acknowledge it, but they don't care. They're more cared about ice creams and things. I actually care about people, but the thing is, this is caring about people, because we're being taken advantage of, and they've been making mass amounts of money out of us, and now the next claim is, oh no, well, we're going to make you money and we're going to make you better, but all for their profit and for their administration and control. And they've been poisoning us with toxic foods, which is hardly giving harms. It's quite the opposite, and that's what I'm pulling them on. That's the thing that I'm pulling them on. You know, I'm finding people, there are ways to deal with social problems, or what's the matter, what caused it, you know, getting more social care and things like that, rather than, you know, just bang them in a cell and give them a fine. It doesn't solve any problems. It's a culture that's developed. And it all develops from some sort of dominative force. Actually get down this road if you're an animal. Like on Doctor Who, and she says, I'm not an animal, you insulted my forebears. It's like you're trying to get signatures on petition, nobody will sign it. It's almost as if they can't do it. They can't get themselves to sign and help. Even though they're all complaining about council, they won't sign and do anything. I like how the sheep are just chilling at the side of the road, and there's these two horses here. Two horses just chilling in the sunshine, and there's like two sheep there and another sheep there. I managed to get up that cattle grid.